walking, that's just what they'll do. And one of these days, them boots are gonna walk all over. Good morning, everybody. Ooh. Do I not want to do this? I don't want to do this one today. No, sirree, Bob. No, sirree, Barbarino. I don't know what happened, but I know what happened. That's all. I don't even have to watch. I don't have to turn on the television set. I've been seeing pop-ups all morning. I know what happened, and I don't even have to turn on the television. I know what happened. You let somebody put some boots on, and they walked on you again. You cheered and voted for a president that gave you a prisons that needed to be filled, built more prisons in elementary schools, and then you voted for the next president who gave you more police than the last president gave. And he was followed up by another police state president. All for a corporation that you think is a government. I already know what happened. These boots were made for walking. That's what they'll do. And one of these days, them boots even walked on you, didn't they? But you know what? I gotta say something. Ooh, I'm already started. I didn't even put this stuff. I gotta share and stuff. Sometimes I get discombobulated. I don't understand how people's brains work. I don't understand how their brains work. I'm gonna try best that I can. Ooh, let me turn this down. I'm gonna try best that I can to bring levity to the situation. I try to. It's not always possible. You can't always bring levity in the face of evil. You can't always do that. What is this? Oh, no, I ain't gonna post that right now. I'm gonna get to see. Woo! I'd love to act like I'm surprised. Not surprised. Love to act like I'm highly upset. Nope, that was supposed to happen. Unfortunately, it was supposed to happen, and until we get half a clue what to do, get used to it. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all watch the news. Don't pretend like y'all watch the news. They watch the news. They know what's going on. Oh, the police state did some police state stuff again, huh? Oh yeah, you know anybody voting for the police state? Do you? But I gotta chastise a group of people. Oh, am I gonna chastise for a minute? I don't want to do it, but I have to. Because that's what I'm required to do. The boots were made for walking. That's just what they'll do. You keep playing like a damn fool, they're gonna walk all over you. All right. That's how I get down. I like the truth. I don't like to lie to people. And so I already know what happened. So tell me the truth of what happened. I don't know what happened, and I know everything that happened. All right. Let me get YouTube over here real quick, then we'll get started. Hopefully everybody is having a good morning, a good day. If you're in Minneapolis, I know you're not. But you know, we can fix YouTube over here real quick. We just have to choose to. Hopefully we have to dig down deep and decide that we're more interested in solving problems than disaster capitalism. Every time this happens, people capitalize, and it's all sides. It's not one side. I know you thought I was gonna get on here. Black man, black shirt, black screen. Oh, he's gonna be yelling and he's gonna say, no, you have no idea what I'm gonna say. Hang on. Some of y'all, my friends know. My friends know me well. I'm only interested in solutions. I don't give two damns about your emotions. I don't give two damns about your group. I don't care what you want. We just need to do the things that are right. So hang on. Oh, there you go, YouTube right there. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? I'm gonna try to do this in seriousness, and we can look at the news so I can get the details. If you want me to have them, I don't think that I need them. I think I already know what happened. All right, let me bring YouTube in. Good morning, everybody. What is today? Thursday, Wednesday, something like that. Woo! When you have a police state, and you got for-profit prisons, and you got more prisons than you got elementary schools, or you build more prisons than you do elementary schools, somebody gonna go in those prisons. And if you got a for-profit government that's running everything, then what you think is gonna happen? Same thing that's gonna happen every single time. They're gonna do what profit determines. What does profit determine? That you fill the prisons. That's what it does. And every now and then you're gonna run into some people who just ain't the one. They just ain't the one. So, all right, let me change the background music so I can get everybody pissed off at me. Good morning, soul spirits. Keep in mind. You're only here but for a moment. You're only here but for a moment. While you're here, enjoy the ride, do what you can, and hopefully when and if that time, not if, when that time comes and you're removed from this dimension of a hell, that your life mattered. All right? You gotta say something, it's gonna piss a lot of people off. I'm gonna say it anyway. No, black lives don't matter. No, they don't. They're not supposed to. Sorry, they don't. And it's obvious now. No, white lives don't matter. Blue lives don't matter. Yellow lives don't matter. None of your lives matter because you have not required them to matter. All right? What is this gentleman's name? George? His name George? Hang on. George Floyd. George Floyd's life matters, not black lives. Don't you post nothing on my page about no damn Black Lives Matter. I am a little upset. I'm gonna try to make it. Try not to go there and try to explain my point. Every life matters in the moment it was taken. For that day, that is George's time. That's not your time. Anybody yelling Black Lives Matter right now is alive. You're still alive. Obviously, your life matters for the moment. But they'll take it later because these boots were made for walking. And they will walk on you. All right? George Floyd life matters. Not black lives. Don't nobody give two damns about black lives. They don't give two damns about white lives. They don't give a damn about American lives. Don't even matter. You know, but we said this from the very beginning. They gave you that name for a reason. They gave you the name because they knew it would create drama. So you got them over there screaming Black Lives Matter, over there screaming White Lives Matter, over there screaming Blue Lives Matter, and the government don't have to change a damn thing. And so this is how you get this behind you. You get basically an army. And the analogy fits perfectly. It fits perfectly. I really don't want to watch the news, to be honest with you, because I know me. I'm going to get upset. I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area, all right? So I know what it's like to be chased around by police. I know what it's like to pull around the corner and hide. I know what it's like to have guns put in your face by people supposed to be protecting you. But the good thing about me is I know what it feels like when they're both held by a white finger and a black finger. And no, not an Asian finger, come to think of it. Try to bring some levity to the situation. No, I ain't never had no Asian police pull no gun on me. Nope, I sure not have. I did not. I don't think he was. No, he was not Hispanic. Only George Floyd's life matters. He was executed. The brother was executed. I only saw a clip of the video and I heard his voice and I knew I couldn't watch the rest. I couldn't watch the rest. And you know what I tell you, we got to look at the ugly so we can process the real emotion we need to and the passion to actually make a change, a real change, not a fake change that's handed to you by your leaders who are all paid to sell books about Black Lives Mattering, how we're being fought by oppression and racism. Shut up. I'm so sick of y'all. I don't know what to do. And then more people gonna die, and more people gonna die, and more people gonna die. But you're gonna get your disaster capital for yelling and screaming for your life to matter. But it was George Floyd's life that mattered. That's the only life that matters in this conversation. That's the only one, because everybody else is alive. LaVoy Finnecum died, his life matters. The only one that mattered. Chris Gardner died, his life matters. The only one that mattered. It's insignificant, his skin color, if he got 2 feet, hair, eyes. And when you figure that out, that when you say all lives matter or even poor lives matter, anything other than the emotional component of a race or a religion. That's all I'm saying. And the city is blowing up. Now, I'm looking at the city right now. I did see a couple minutes of the protest. City is blowing up. So I do want to take a look at this, I guess, so we can get some of the details. But if you don't ever get it through your thick skull, justice anywhere is injustice everywhere, and you're cheering for the ranchers to get it, you're cheering for the Bundys to get it, you're happy when the survivalists get it, you want to take everybody's guns, but then when that same police state comes down on you, your life matters? No. Injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. And when you finally process what Martin Luther King was saying with that, you'll get how this works. And that's why Martin Luther King's life didn't matter to all the people that you're praising right now in Washington. Why? Because he figured it out. Long as you're alive, you ain't saying the full truth. When they put you in that casket, that means you know what you're talking about. When Martin Luther King stood up for everybody, they took him out. He figured out the matrix and how it works. But as long as you pick a side, you're useless to everybody on the planet. Everybody. Everybody. So, let me take a look at this. I don't know all the details. Like I said, I don't know what happened, but I know what happened. They've been strapping them boots up for years, ever since I was born. And boots are made for walking. Police states are made for walking. Military states are made for walking. Legislation, bipartisan, creating a massive complex of a police state go murder and kill people in the Middle East to bring that equipment home, to give it to the police. And you think that these boots ain't made for walking? No. That's just what they'll do. So for me, like I said, I don't blame the police. They don't write the laws. They don't write the laws. Why were they even there? Why were they even there? So if you don't know the full details, like I don't, the significant detail is the man was executed in broad daylight. He had the life choked out of him while people watched. While people watched. I gotta say something here. I don't really want to say this neither. While people watched in a video. Who was the strong sister on the thread this morning who said, why were they filming that? Why were they filming that? And I didn't, you know, like I said, this is why I post stuff. I try to get people talking so I can think about like me and, you know, what I would do in that situation and what we need to do moving forward to change things actually. And the sister said, well, why was anybody filming? Who was this? I forgot who this was. Whew. Yeah, I'm trying to be chill this morning. Was it Cindy? I forgot who said that. Why would they just film? I had to think about that. I'm trying to give people credit for the comments they have. Y'all post stuff and it like makes me think about things. I want to make sure I give. Here we go. No, Sister Tanya. She said, I'll show it to you. Hang on, I'll show it to you. This is why I post stuff on the internet. This is why I post stuff, because I want people to talk. Like I said, don't read my posts. I mean, you can read my posts, get upset with me all you want. I really don't care. But look at these people's comments. The people's comments, that's where the real meat and potatoes are. I'm just one dude. I have my own perspective, but everybody else, they kind of feed in. Look at this right here. I asked, I said, you know, and I was thinking about it in terms of us, right? As above, so below. When you create a police state that doesn't give two damns about the people, and you don't give two damns about the people in Yemen, you don't give two damns about the people in the trailer park, you don't give two damns about the people in the ghetto, then you're going to see the system do what it does on all levels. And right now, isn't that what's happening to us? You're on lockdown, and you're breathing, and you're choking. Everything is on lockdown to the big, massive trillionaires and corporations that are locking the whole world down for profit. This is what Sister Tanya said to that. She says, you know, because I said that right there. She says, you know, what I don't get, Gerard? There were all these people taking videos and not one of them, not any one of them got together to stop the cops murdering this guy. Why? And I had to like think about this for a minute. Their numbers should have been enough to stop them. No. Tell me why what I'm not understanding. I tell you what, it's almost like taking the video is more important than intervening. And Sister Tanya has maybe she doesn't know what she says, maybe she does know what she said, but she nailed it. She nailed it. It's called disaster capitalism. The same reason that you're on a slow wake up right now from a lockdown. Why they didn't unlock as soon as they realized it was just flu season. Because you got a bunch of industries that are profiting from the lockdown. You got Walmarts and Targets and the rest of these big corporations making trillions of dollars a week every week that you stay on lockdown. What happens when this happens? We jump up and scream Black Lives Matter. Why? Because we want likes. We want subscriptions. We want the attention. My life matters too, and no, it doesn't, because you're living. He's not. George Floyd's life matters. Your life doesn't matter. And plus, it should be obvious anyway. They don't give two damns about you. They never have. They're a corporation. They don't care about people. They don't have citizens. They have commodities. Look it up. The Act of 1871. I'm so sick and tired of saying that. We don't have a government. You have a corporation that looks like a governing body that only gives two damns about profit. But this sister said something that was just so damn powerful. And I was thinking about it. You can see my response. I mean, I don't know how to respond to that. But she's right. She's right. We sit around and film it. Why? Because you can make a couple $1,000s selling the video. Now, am I saying to approach the police? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I would never say nothing like that. I don't believe in violence. Violence for me, unfortunately, it's a default of compulsion. I don't believe in it, but it happens. I maintain myself most times, but in certain times I can't maintain myself. And in that particular situation, if you saw the video, I'm not sure you'd be able to maintain yourself too. Not if you had any sentience and love in your heart. So am I saying approach the police? No, I'm not. I'm not. But I tell you what, slavery is a choice. Remember I said that? Slavery is a choice. Remember how I said that after I stole the quote from Kanye West, the guy that y'all were coming down on? Slavery is a choice. It's all a choice. You choose. That's what I said. I came from a history, a lot of slaves. Maybe that was right for them in the time they were. I was not born in that time. I ain't no slave. I ain't no slave. I'll follow, I'll step and fetch and do what I gotta do, wear my little mask, go to Home Depot, stuff like that, things that don't matter to me. I feel stupid, but they don't matter to me. But I will never sit aside and watch somebody being choked to death. I'll never do it. I'll never do it. Let me show you the video. But she made a profound point, and this is what I want to say on this. You don't see nobody pulling that on the Bundys, do you? They put on Lavoy Finicum and they left them ranches alone. Why? Why? This sister was hitting on something. While y'all are sitting here fighting to get rid of people's guns, and these other people over here know that we got a police state, and they draw a line. They say, listen, this is my line right here. These are my rights. You come past this line, then you can take my life, but you ain't gonna force me to live like a damn slave. Maybe there's a time where people have to start to realize that, you are at war. I'm not talking violence. And I'll be honest with you, if I were in that situation, and if you haven't watched the news or a clip of the guy being choked out and hearing him call out, it reminded me of Chris Gardner. Was it Chris Gardner? The brother who said, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. All of these videos remind me of the same thing. Somebody is dying slow, and we're just sitting around watching. We're all trying to figure out, how can we make a video? How can I include my life in that life? White dude dies. Oh, white lives matter. They want to jump in and make some money on it. No, Lavoy Finicum's life matter. Your life don't matter at all. Let me show this to you. Maybe, possibly, things will change when you say, you know what, enough is enough. This is what I'm willing to do to make sure that nobody dies again. Now, if I were there, I'd tell you what, I would figure out. And it's a hard situation. Let me show it to you. It's a hard situation because the other officer was backing him up. He was doing his job. And that's the problem, is we can't really say he was doing his job. We want to blame the police and say the police are racist. He was doing his job. When you realize that you are a commodity to a corporation, you'll realize that other cop was doing his job. He was guarding them to, man, I'm going to show you the video before we go, like right here. So now he's watching him at this point. You can't really see all the details, but he's got his knee on his neck, like a boot on your back in a shutdown. He's got his knee on his neck, and he's choking him out. And right now, the guy's face is on the ground. And you know what? I guess I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you. Minneapolis is flipping out. And you know what I like to do, though, before we look at the news? I always like to make sure that it's very clear that I don't think this is racism. I always love to make it clear. I really don't care about racism. I'll be honest with you. I don't care if you like me. You can go to hell. I don't care if you like me for my eye color, my hair, not having hair. I said hair, didn't I? 2 feet, 2 arms. I don't really give a damn if you like me or not. I gave a damn when I was 2. By the time I was 3, I don't really care if you like me. So I don't care nothing about no racism. Besides the fact, if you look at the Minneapolis Police Department, go do a search on that online. You tell me what you see. I already did a search. I'll show you what I saw. Let me do a search for Minneapolis police officer. I was looking for the race statistics, but because this is where I'm trying to go with this. It ain't got nothing to do with race. Have you ever met a racist person in your life? I get so sick of people who've never met a racist person in their life. They met racist people on TV, right? They never met them in their life. So I went down here, yeah, and then there go all the signs. Black Lives Matter. Hang on, whoa, I gotta show you this. And I'm looking at the Minneapolis Police Department, and I'm seeing the black guy and the black DA and the black officer and And I'm like, this is like my police department growing up in Prince George's County. You look just like you. So it had nothing to do with racism. Let me tell you why. Have you ever met a racist person? Has a racist person ever pulled a gun on you? Ever in your life? If not, let me tell you what it's like. You can feel that. I done had it happen twice. Racist people don't want to be around you. All right. People who hate you for your color or your race, they're not going to join a club. They're not going to come to your school. They don't want to touch your skin. They don't want to breathe your air. They don't want to be nowhere around you. If there's any black officers on that force, they will not be there. There's a difference between a racist police and police who have a quota to meet. And they go to poor neighborhoods because people can't hire lawyers in poor neighborhoods. And if that's a trailer park, they'll go there. If it's a ghetto, they'll go there. If it's a barrier, why? Because those who create the laws require this to happen. They have arrest minimums and bad things happen. You know why? Because George Floyd was a free man. Free men don't go for slavery. They push back. Slaves are the ones that lay down and pick up videos. So let me show you. Let me go here. I have to clarify because not everybody has met a racist person. I used to go down to Arkansas, El Dorado, Arkansas, where my family is from. And I remember being a child in the 80s going down there. The people were real nice people. They were nicer than the people in the Washington, D.C. area, to be honest with you. But when you met that racist person, you knew. You knew who they were. They weren't there to play. They weren't there to go on and make some Sharpie signs and mark and have some flags and wave the American flag. That's not racism, brother. That's what television tells you. Real racist people, they don't want to be nowhere around you. Let me look at the news because I want to change the topic. I just want to hit this real quick and move on because it's just going to get me upset. And I don't want to be upset.
Send destruction in Minneapolis tonight as police officers and protesters clash over a man's death. Thanks for watching WCCO, also streaming on CBSN Minnesota.
The outrage began with a video showing police arresting 46-year-old George Floyd in South Minneapolis last night.
Why? I can't breathe. Please, the name of it.
In the video, you can see an officer kneeling on Floyd's neck, pinning him to the ground on Chicago and East 38th Street. Floyd died a short time later. Today, hundreds flooded the streets at that same intersection to protest Floyd's death. They then marched to the police station where the officers who arrested Floyd worked. Our team coverage begins tonight with Jeff Wagner. He joins us now from outside the Minneapolis Police 3rd Precinct, where a crowd is still gathered. Jeff?
Yeah, this crowd, I want to say comparative to about...
Hang on, I had to pause there real quick. Sister Lucy said something I need to address real quick. You reminded me. If they got tiki torches, they're not Nazis, all right? If they got tiki torches, they're not Nazis. When you meet a real racist person, you'll know, because your life won't matter at all to them. They won't even want to be around it. You want to meet a real Nazi? Real Nazis write legislation. Real Nazis lock you down in your house. Real Nazis, they quarantine you. Real Nazis build facilities to put you and your children. Real Nazis show up to your house to steal your children because your water bill got cut off. That's what real Nazis do. That's called Democrats and Republicans. That's the Fourth Reich. We talk about that all the time. When you're dealing with real Nazis, you'll know. They don't carry tiki torches. They don't shop at your Walmart. Why? Because people at the Walmart, they don't want to even breathe air from it. All right? When you meet real racist people, like Lucy said, you will know. You will know.
An hour ago, it's calmed down a bit, but then next thing you know, you start to hear the sound of tear gas being fired, flashbangs being fired. We've had what believes to be rubber bullets of sorts fly not far from us, hearing people get hit. There's still hundreds of people here who are actually standing right by the 3rd Precinct, right next to the officers. It's been a pretty chaotic scene starting about 6 p.m. tonight. A far cry from what it was earlier. Now, this all started at the intersection of 38th and Chicago. Thousands packed the area for the protest at 5 o'clock, but were also spread out to remain socially distant. Organizers emphasized keeping this protest peaceful. People took turns sharing their frustrations and grief with the crowd.
I'm sorry. He just said that we're all spread out to remain socially distanced. You know what? I don't even know what to say to that. I'm not. You know what? I'm just gonna let it play. I'm not even gonna say. I'm just. It's special to me. The world is a stage. Right? The world is a stage. And you know what? No, I am gonna say something. Somebody posted something just a minute ago. Let me try to find the comment here. You say we're out here to be socially distanced. We're trying to socially distance. I'm not gonna do it. Come on.
Crowd chants of "I can't breathe" and "it could have been me" filled the air. A man who claims to have been one of the witnesses of Floyd's arrest also addressed the crowd. Protesters were glad to know that the 4 officers involved were fired, but they say the true justice won't be served until there's charges and a conviction.
When you look at situations, you say to yourself, could this have been prevented? And that goes without saying in regards to this situation. That young man was no longer a threat once you subdued him, handcuffed him, and you had your knee on his neck. You could have very easily got up, put him in the car like you was asked to on several occasions. It's hard.
See, I disagree. I'm not interested in what anything he got to say. I don't, because I don't think he figured it out. I don't think he's actually looking at the matrix. Could this have been prevented? Hell yeah, it could have been prevented. Could have been prevented to keep the plantation and keep the police state so this person didn't die. See, people die all the time. People die every day. People gonna keep dying. As long as you keep a plantation, as long as you keep a police state, as long as you are a commodity to your government, as long as you're lining up, are you registered to vote? You gonna go vote for your party? All right, you pick your party. You pick your side of the police state party. Pick the right cheek or the right butt cheek or the left butt cheek. So they can all continue to treat us like we're an anus. Go ahead and pick this party. That's how you prevent it. You prevent slaves from dying on a slave plantation by bringing it into the plantation. That's the only way you're going to prevent it. Otherwise, you're going to be back in the same mess again. Do I really don't care about justice? I have no interest in justice at all. I don't give a damn about justice. Why? Brother George Floyd is gone. He has no more worries. He's out of hell. He's in heaven now. We're still here in hell. You want to change it? In the plantation. There's no prevention. Oh, well, the police need more training. No, we don't need a plantation. Human beings need rights. Human beings need the things to survive, so you don't need a police state, right? All of this feeds together. I don't want to like I said, I try to keep it light best that I can. It's just that at one point in time, you will finally have enough love in your heart, passion in your body, and intelligence in your mind to realize that slavery is a choice. And you keep choosing. You keep choosing. You keep choosing. Why? Because the police state needs more training. The whippers need more training. The whippers, lethal whips. They should just have whips that just rip our back up. But, you know what? I'm not even sure I can do this. Because, like I said, I like to keep it light.
Heartbreaking. I mean, we're all human beings, and we're all in this community together. It's just tough to see someone have their life ended the way it did.
You are a human being. You are not in this together. You are a human being in the community. You are not a human being to the United States Incorporated. You want to know why people get murdered in the United States? Read the law and turn that damn television off. Read the Act of 1871. You don't have a government. You are not a citizen. You are a commodity, and you are given to that plantation at birth with your birth certificate. This is not conspiracy theory. It's just fact and law. Look it up and read it, and then you'll know what's going on in your nation. You'll see why they write law after law after law after law, taking your rights because you live on a plantation and you are a commodity on that plantation. And they're using that plantation to put their boot on people all over the world, the most weakest people they can find, to steal their resources in their land. And in order to do that, they got to keep you stupid fighting with other people in your country. That's how they do it. And you got people, I see Jay right there. That's Jay. These people will go to other countries, find out that this is all a scam, and then come home and tell you that. But you got to get a clue. You got to take the emotional component out of it. It has nothing to do with race. This is always about money and power. Money and power. It's not about bad cops. It's not about fixing the cops. It's about ending the power scheme and setup that maximizes the usage of the human being as a commodity, right? Like, we live in a time we can fix it, but we got to turn off the emotions and turn up the intelligence. You got to turn down the TV and turn up your critical thought. I get so tired of seeing this, but I already know what happened.
Now, around 6 p.m., the protest
Marching in the
turned
street
into a
ain't gonna
march
do
towards
it.
the...
No, I'm sorry. How many times we done how many times? It's like science. I like to approach things like science. If you do it every single time and nothing changes, maybe you should do something different. You've already done this experiment. We've done this. Somebody gets murdered by the Democrats and Republicans' legal system. The laws that they've been forced, they kept. Every single president, y'all get in there. Oh, we're going to bring some hopey change. We're going to make America great again. Is it great? Do you see some change? No. You keep putting the same data in, getting the same result, and you can't figure out why. It's the definition of insanity. There's a reason why they left the Bundys alone. You got to deal with that. There's a reason why they left the Bundys alone, and they're picking with you. There's a reason why.
Third precinct, where it is believed that the officers worked. A much smaller group than the initial protest started vandalizing the building, shattering a window, spray painting squad cars and the side of the building. Officers then showed up in riot gear and started firing tear gas and flashbangs, which you can hear going off right now, as many protesters were hurling rocks, water bottles, anything they could get their hands on towards the officers. The unruly crowd measured in hundreds, firing tear gas and flash.
I gotta go back because I gotta critique the protest. I gotta critique it. I'm just like, please tell me that they're wearing masks because it's an I can't breathe protest, and not that they actually believe the government that murders people in the street and doesn't change the law but builds more prisons, brings in more corporations to create more inmates, that told you that there's a flu going around, and so you showed up at the march. You're scared to get the flu, but you think you're going to stand up to that government. Please tell me that that's not. Tell me that they're wearing masks because it's a I can't breathe march, not because they're scared of what a flu from the government that created the police state and the military police state told them. Please tell me. Is anybody seeing the conflict in that logic? Is anyone seeing an issue there? If they don't give two damns about your life, white lives don't matter, black lives don't matter, poor lives don't matter, because the only thing that matters is a dollar bill, and you wore a mask to the march. Is that making any sense? I don't get it. I guess maybe it's just me. Maybe it's me.
Which you can hear going off right now, as many protesters were hurling rocks, water bottles, anything they could get their hands on towards the officers. The unruly crowd measured in hundreds, a far cry from the...
Hang on. Now, these guys got masks. Now, they didn't show up with some masks, and they didn't bring a knife to a gunfight, did they? Now, am I calling for violence? I am not. I would never do that. I'm a man of peace. Like I said, the only time you're going to get violence out of me is in the moment. In the moment, I'm going to do what I got to do. I always do what I got to do because slavery's a choice and I ain't no damn slave. But in a calm mind and sound body, I would look at what the Bundys did. The Bundys didn't attack, did they? No, they didn't attack nobody. Lavoy Finicum didn't attack nobody. They just said, this is it, I'm done. That's all they did. The Black Panthers did that. They said, this is it, I'm done. The people you hate, the Klan and the white nationalists, they did the same thing. They said, look at this is my gun, I'm done. I'm done. You can either change your ways, but you ain't gonna come on my land. You can change your ways, but you ain't gonna do this again. This is the last damn time. They didn't make Sharpie signs. I have not to this day seen the Bundys write a damn sign. I've never seen them I've never even seen that man hold a Sharpie pen. All right, he stood up for his Second Amendment. That's why it's there. When the people who are supposed to be serving and protecting you, when they're not lining up behind you, burning down that government building, and I'm not calling to burn down government buildings because you're not allowed to do that on the internet. I'm not doing that. I'm saying when those guys line up behind you because you own that government building and you need to break some windows because you upset because the people inside of it ain't doing their job, then you know that they're on your side. Then you know they're serving and protecting. Short of that, these cats are all working for banks. All working for banks.
Peaceful group that started the protest.
It's real ugly. The police have to understand that, you know, this the climate they have created.
See, did you get it? I didn't even watch this. The climate that they created. The climate that the police created. And every time, this is why I get upset, because I look at it and I see people acting like dogs, right? You know, like how's a dog in the mailman work, right? The mailman shows up to the door and the mailman throws the paper and hits the door. And what's the dog do? The dog goes, grabs the paper, start ripping the paper up. The problem ain't the paper. The problem ain't the paper. Somebody threw that paper at your door. The dog needs to go attack the mailman and rip him up. Then rip up the damn truck. Then go to the post office. Get higher and higher. But the paper don't mean nothing. The police don't mean it. The police state was thrown at you. And the police didn't create it. Right? It's like I said, I grew up in the shadow of Washington, D.C. And I remember when they used to come out there and get them drug dealers. And it was the most sustainable, dumb system they ever came up with. I think it was Reagan at the time, tough on crime. We're going to get all these black vagrants off the street. And the Black Caucus was right with them. Hashtag, they came up with Black Lives Matter. And they're the ones selling books. And they agreed with the laws. And Bill Clinton at that time, where he created a massive ramp up with the war on drugs, following up Reagan. That's why it has nothing to do with race. Every time y'all say it has something to do with race, I think you're stupid. I love you to death, but I think you're emotional and you're ignorant. Not stupid, ignorant. I used to think that too, until I looked up. See, I have the benefit of growing up in the Washington, D.C. area, looking at the black politicians, the black judges, and the black police running us in, as well as everybody else. Early on, I realized this ain't had nothing to do with race. It was always about money. It was about money. It was about turning on children and money. And that's what the police state is for. All right. I know I ranted. I'm not trying. Let this finish. Let me finish up.
It appears we have a long night ahead of us.
The police the people who did this to you, you want to know who did it to you? I'm going to tell you who did it to you. Go outside, because it's election. It's election year. It's election year. Go outside and just start looking at the road signs. Not the ones that say local, but the ones that say federal. The federal ones. So look at the road signs. Go in people's houses, go to your neighbor's house, your friend's house. Look on their refrigerators. Look at the magnets, right? Look at what they got. These are the people who write the laws, right? Until you realize to stop attacking a newspaper like you're a rabid dog, and you actually start going after the people who created the police state that made sure that nobody's life matters. You ain't gonna change nothing. You're a part of the system. You're actually a leg underneath the table. You're helping hold it up. You've created a sustainable system of them abusing you, right? Just like I said with the drug dealer. So they did with the drug dealer. Come out and get the drug dealer off the corner. Waste of time. Wasted everybody's time. How Ty said, waste of everybody's time. Why? Because by the time you get that kid in the car, you got his buddy's already got the block. And as soon as you go around the corner, he's dealing on the block. And so another police car comes around, grabs him, takes him to jail. There's another guy, takes it over. As long as there is I want to say it right. Laws of supply and demand. I'm not a smart dude. I'm just somebody who likes to pay attention. The laws of supply and demand, right? If there's a demand, there will always be a supply. People demanded the drugs. Why? Because they lived in an artificial scarce society in DC at the time. Hell yeah, they need drugs. They need drugs to get up and go to work. They needed to crack the cocaine, whatever they could, because the pharmacy was too expensive. Same reason today. What is it? 40 to 50% of most women are antidepressant drugs just to get up and go to work in America, right? People won't get the drugs. As long as there is a demand, there will be a supply, right? As long as you have a prison industrial complex for private prison corporations and 500,000 laws on the books to make criminals out of free people, laws that have nothing to do with the Constitution or Bill of Rights because they threw that away back in 1871, they're just creating criminals out of people. They created the demand. The prison system and the legal system is like a vacuum, and it's on. And you got everybody from the bookkeepers to the janitors to the judges to the lawyers to everybody. For all these laws are written for by the people that you keep posting on my damn page that I should be voting for. Just ready to suck them kids up. And why does the vacuum suck up the children? Because the adults know better. The adults don't fight with the police. The adults don't cuss out the police. They tell the kids to. They act tough on the internet, but when the police show up, they don't do that. But the kids fall in. And so the kids get sucked up by the system because they're listening to their ignorant parents. All right, I'm like I said, I'm about to wrap this up. Hang on.
Again, every few seconds when it gets quiet, you suddenly hear the sounds of flashbangs and tear gas being fired in the crowd. You're looking at it right now. You're watching the crowd disperse. It appears someone might have been shot with one of those rubber paint bullets. People are very upset tonight. I spoke on the phone a few minutes ago with Trey Pollard.
But let me clarify something. Am I saying people should not be in the streets? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. When bad things happen, people need to release so those things blow up. It's better that people being in the street, social distancing with masks and playing the federal government's game at this moment in time. It's better they be in the street letting off that steam than letting that stuff build up. So I'm not saying they shouldn't be out there. I'm just saying you need to have a very clear reason, a very clear point of what needs to occur, or you're wasting everybody's time. If your very clear point is justice and put this one racist guy in prison, you're a part of the system. You want to keep the system up. All right? You want to keep the system up.
He's one of the sound bites you heard earlier. He's one of the organizers of the initial protest. He said this is not what was supposed to happen. He said this is an anger and spillover of what people are feeling, but this is not the right platform to express that. He said this is not the way it was supposed to end this evening. An evening that's far...
Because you don't read. You have no idea that these boots are made for walking. And if they put them on, that's just what they're going to do. You show up in defiance to a corporation that needs to put millions of people in these cells to make profit, and they're going to fire the tear gas.
Far from finished again.
All right, Jeff. Thank you.
They didn't show the clip, which is good, because to be honest with you, I can't watch it anyway. It's too much. It's just too much. Because I get tired. I get so tired of watching this stuff. I'm going to go back to the clip where he's there. But if you listen to this brother screaming, I can't breathe. No, I don't, you know, I'm not trying to do the tear thing. I don't like to do emotional things. Y'all know me. I like to laugh and come on here, have a good time, talk about the world, how we can fix things. But you ain't never going to fix the police until you get a clue. You ain't never going to fix the police until you realize the police aren't the ones writing the laws. Imagine crying for help and nobody helps. Yeah, Christine, I can't imagine that. And I can tell you that if I was there, I would not be standing there filming. I wouldn't be. I don't know what I would do. I would do anything I could do to disarm the situation. If you got a crowd of 20 people, and I'm not, you know, I can't even say it. I'll just say this. You can think for yourself. Think for yourself. But no, I won't stand by and watch anybody be abused by anybody. I don't care who you are, if it's obviously wrong. But a sick and sad world we live in a sick and sad world, Task, and only we can change it. Only we can change it. Only we can look in our own damn mirror and say, how am I a part of this system, and how do I stop being a part of the system? The word racist is overused. Yes, of course it is, Brett Carey, because that is a disaster capitalist word. It's a word for nothing to change. Nobody went to Africa to get nobody slaves because anybody was racist. They went there for the money. Why? That's why the African kings sold the lesser tribes into slavery. They all worked together with the Arabs and the people who came from America. Had nothing to do with race, had nothing to do with skin color. They tell you that on the television because ignorant people don't know history. Had nothing to do with it. And before it was them, it was the Irish. And it was the Chinamen building the railroad. It's just about money. It's always about money. For the same reason the Black Caucus turns you in and they're writing laws with everybody else. Why are they on TV yelling and screaming that they're on your side? They're not on your side. They can't be on your side. The system won't allow them to. The system is based in profit. You need a real live racist, and you okay, yeah, that's right, Lucy. I already did that. When you need a real live racist, you'll know. Prince George's County, somebody mentioned, oh yeah, Prince George's County was rough. It was because DC at the time was the murder capital of the world. Prince George's County was jacked up. I mean, I lived on the right side of the tracks, and all my friends came from the other side of the tracks, and they still had houses, but then they shipped in kids from Southeast DC with the kids who came from the place that ain't had no damn tracks. All right. And it was rough. It was rough. It was bad. But the thing that gets me is that it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be, right? When you start looking at neuroscience, right? When you start accepting that there are warrior genes, when you accept that not only when you put people in artificially scarce environments where there's not enough food, water, freedom, anything, they become a little crazed. Those warrior genes flip on, they realize I gotta survive, and if I don't do what it takes to survive, I'm gonna die, and then they survive. And then the same system plays the police. Why? They put them in a job. They make sure they got that PTSD going. They got the people hate the police hate the people, and the police do what the police do to survive. Everybody's got the warrior genes turned on, and this is why I don't blame police. You know, not as an entity. You got bad cops, yeah, you do, but the vast majority are good. Like the vast majority of people are good, but they can't see the system. They don't realize that they're all being played against each other because it's sustainable. As long as you keep two fools at each other's throats, you will never have to change anything. You can make big dollars, sell books, get promoted, get reelected. And that's, unfortunately, where prevention comes in. New party in the system. Jay Rohn, I'm not a new party person. I'll be honest with you. I know that you run new party. I'm the system is sick. The system is too infected. The system is too aching, ailing. The virus of greed is spread throughout the system, and the system needs to fall, right? From a legal perspective, I talk about it from the Act of 1871. You repeal that, you get your republic back, then you'll get some rights back. You put the states in control, and then if they want to create another federal government, they can. But for right now, you're 50 nation states, and in the Act of 1871, they threw out your republic, which is when they threw out your Constitution and your Bill of Rights. This is why they never follow it. You see what I'm saying? And so the people who are upset with this and the other people on the other side that ain't upset with it, neither of them have any rights. Neither of them. But once again, you keep everybody at each other's throats, you can make a lot of money. I'm gonna read comments and I'm gonna get out of here. I was gonna do some other stuff, but I'm not in the right mindset. It's not a game. It's not a game. And people run around here acting like it's a game all the damn time. And that's why I check out of society for the most part. I don't want to be a part of it. Slavery is a choice and I'm not choosing to stay. My dear, until we are one, we are not. Robin Hood, where are you? Exactly, Carmen. Until we're one, we're useless. As long as we're all these different subhuman groups that these billionaires put us in at birth, everybody's got their own birth bigotry. As long as you're out there fighting other poor people, instead of fighting the system, you're wasting everybody's time. You need to fight the power. Stop fighting the people who look like they got the power. People who look like they got the power are just stand-ins. Once you take them down, then someone else will take that spot right there. Good morning, Kim Jackson. Good morning, Jack. Good morning, Jay. Gold, oil, drugs, follow the money, resources. That's why we fight, not to defend, but to steal and conquer. And this is what I'm saying. You know, if you want to support the troops, listen to Jay. Jay, I did good by you this week. Jay is one of our soldiers. I stayed out of Facebook jail this weekend because I understood if you post too many things of what veterans say, you'll be in prison. Jay spent last Veterans Day and Memorial's Day in Facebook prison. Why? She served the country. Why? Because she came back and told you what the wars are about. And that's not allowed. See, you can say the things that the young kids who have not gone to war say, the soldiers, the troops, but you can't say what the veterans say. You know, but people like that, when they speak, I shut up and I listen. I've never been to war. I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area, and that was hell, but I've never been to war. But that's what the wars are about. It's always about power and money. And now fake media comes up with an old pic of the policeman that got his knee on Floyd's neck. Now he has a red MAGA hat saying, "Make whites great again." Yeah, Kathy, well, this is with the game that they play, Kathy, right? If they can get you on either side of this ignorant debate, they got you. You're a leg holding up the table of ignorance. And it's just money. Money at the top knows how to stay on top. They'll make it about make America great again. They'll make it about hope and change or racism or anything they can. They'll make it about Democrats and Republicans and all the people at the top of all of that making big dollars. Big dollars. Deep state wants enslaving to the end of time. They don't care what color or creed. No, they don't, Debbie Buck. They don't. Because it's about money. It's just about money. No one at the top cares about any color other than green. Green and power. That's all they care about, and they got it. As long as they keep everybody at each other's throats. Cops deserve that and more. Well, you know what, Jack? Cops deserve not to be cops. I mean, if your government actually worked, if they were actually governing and creating a better society, how many cops would they need? Almost none. That to me, if you ask me what cops deserve, they deserve not to have jobs. They deserve to go home and raise their children. They deserve to live like other people. They deserve to live in conditions where you don't get those warrior genes turned on, that PTSD, where it feels okay to murder somebody under the boot of your knee or the bullet of your gun. That's exactly what cops need. They need what everybody else needs. They need to be home. They deserve what the bankers, the accountants, the lawyers, and everybody else in this jacked up plantation of a slave nation deserve. Just live your life. You give people the things that they need. They don't murder people. Violence goes away when you take away the reasons for violence to exist. But I don't expect anybody in that marching crowd to be saying that. Good morning, Buai. Good morning, Rebecca. Oh, good morning. Biden wrote the crime bill. Yes, he did, Christ, and that's what I'm saying. People don't seem to be. What did that man say this morning, Christ? Or yesterday, whenever the hell he said it. Somebody posted it. Something to the effect of, if you're black, you ain't black unless you vote for me, or something. Oh my God. You know what? But Christ, I agree. I agree with Biden. If you black, that's who you're supposed to vote for. That's right. If you white, you're supposed to vote somewhere else. If you black, want to be white. But if you believe that you are a color and you are not some sort of a beautiful god, goddess, wave, spiritual creature, spiritual whatever thing that's here, but you are what the billionaires tell you are, then yeah, then I guess then the billionaires' cronies can tell you what you're supposed to do. But I don't think people can see through that, Christ. Like, you're never given a good option. You're never given a good option, not within a system that requires people to be enslaved to forced labor camps called economies. In a time where you got automation where nobody actually has to work. In a time on lockdown where they show you ain't got no damn rights. In a time where they're showing you they'll use communism, capitalism, or socialism, or a police state or military to control you. In a time where, what's that guy's name? Dershowitz, who said, we have the right to drag you out your house and stick you with a needle. He said that. That's terrorism. And that's Trump's boy. So this isn't about anti-Obama. It's not about pro-Trump. I have no interest in the right butt cheek or the left butt cheek. I'm just trying not to be an anus to the world no more. And actually look at what actually is going on. You think Trump is actually putting the military out there so they can kindly and friendly distribute vaccines? You don't need a military for that. All right, so if Dershowitz believes they can drag you out your house and inject you and big farmers paying, that's exactly what they're going to do. When people show you who they are, believe them. But people don't believe. They believe what they want to. They got a television where what do they say? The news, it gives you confirmation bias, right? They tell you what you want to hear, right? You've been raised your whole life to believe the police are racist and the white people hate me and they hate the system and the black people they don't like to work and they're lazy and da-da-da. And then you tune into a news that reconfirms your own little bigotry. And yet you're fighting the system. Okay. Hey, peace be still. Yes, peace be still, Jackie. The only way we get peace is when we start taking care of everybody. We got the resources to do it. We just don't want to do it. Jay Verone said police didn't write the laws. No, they did not. Yes, cabal, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, pedos, one percenters are running scared and desperate. Kathy, I would hope so. I'm not seeing it, though. I hope you're right and I'm wrong. I don't see it. I don't see it. I see more laws. I see more facilities being built to take kids and quarantine them. I see things where they're trying to help pedophiles. I don't see it. As long as people are like picking teams and joining sides, the system is running everything. You know, I don't see it. I hope you're right and I hope I'm wrong. I don't see them running in fear. I see them pulling the biggest planned event in the history of the human race. I see them pulling, and they're going to get away with it because people are scared. As long as people are fearful, they're going to get away with it, right? Because fear controls, and every decision made in fear is a bad idea. And we just watched a protest of people who are supposed to be passionate about a man who got choked out to death that I can't even watch the video because I don't know what I'm going to do if I listen to this man screaming for oxygen. They were wearing masks. You know, as long as they got the fear, they got to control. We have one ignorant side. Let's put the bull aside for just 1 second. There are some people who are totally clueless and are scared of a virus, but let's be honest. You have one side that's trying to get rid of capitalism by completely destroying the economy, staying on lockdown. And you got the other ignorant side that wants to restart this cronyism that was set up by the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and being slaves to banks. Which side is the good side? What side you want to be? And they think that, oh, we get back to work on it, get back to capitalism. You never had capitalism. You got cronyism. They ran your entire system and you were a slave for them. And the other side, once we break the system, we'll get socialism. Do you think that they're going to give you socialism and communism at the end of this? These people, as long as you're scared, they can do anything they want to you. They own you. They own you by your birth certificate. They can choke you out in the street. They can execute you. They can throw you in a prison. They can quarantine you. They can make you go in your house. They can do anything. You think they're going to give you something after this? Oh, because you're Democrats? The Democrats hate democracy. The Republicans hate the Republic. So tell me how you're going to get what you want out of this. What you're going to get is a new normal, which is the billionaires' normal. Those are the people who own you. Like George Carlin said, they own you, your entire nation, coast to coast, which is why none of you got any rights. And when you got significant fear, these people locked in their houses and they're scared of this virus, they'll do anything. They'll turn in your neighbors. They'll turn into the Fourth Reich. Like I said, when you see Nazis, you'll know the Nazis. They're not here to play. They're not here to play with you. They don't carry tiki torches. They got Armani suits and $3,000 shoes, and they work in Washington. Obstructive vote 2020, Beatrice, I can get down with that. Obstructive vote, obstruct the system. Do anything you can to shut it down. If you are locked in your house like a man being locked under a knee or a boot and you realize that these people at the top ain't for you, time to say no. When you say no, when you show significant numbers that you ain't playing, like the Bundys did, then they're gonna stop playing with you. As long as you were fearful and you're hiding from flu season and acting like you just don't know how nature works, and you believe the billionaires' TV and the TV news, and you don't understand what regular TV programming does to you, what a commercial and advertisement is, that they're literally programming your subconscious by daily scaring you with a virus, till you figure that out. You're just waiting to enslave your kids if your kids get to exist. The moment fear kicks in, it's over. And that's right, Carmen. Every decision made in fear is the worst decision you will ever make in your life. The minute that fear kicks in, they own you. They own you. And I don't know how anybody, it boggles my mind. They fighting the damn power wearing a mask that the powerful told them to wear on. And this man even said, he said social distancing. And he said, we out here social distancing. Oh my Lord. Oh my God. No, black lives don't matter. Because you know what? You're alive. You don't need to group yourself up with George Floyd. Only George Floyd life matters. Doesn't matter if he was black. Doesn't matter if he was white. Doesn't matter what he was. They murdered the man in broad daylight. They fired the cops. No, that doesn't help. They kept the system. They're going to do it again. It's going to happen 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 again. But it ain't going to happen to the Bundys because they said enough is enough. When are you going to say enough is enough? So absolutely, I believe with obstructive vote. I'm trying to tell people here in the UK to see what is going on in the world. They're just all busy fighting about stupid aide who left his house on lockdown. Oh my God. On lockdown. But they don't realize that's what's happening on the world stage. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And I'm glad and sad to hear that both at the same time. You know what? The sister's name just went up. I didn't see your name. I'm glad because you know what? It's good that the same nonsense is happening in all the NATO allied countries. Right? Because then you got a primer. You have a link between what's happening. And you realize that, yeah, I mean, in my country, it's Democrats and Republicans. They're disaster capitalizing on this, like police disaster capitalize to meet quotas and go after poor people that can't hire lawyers in certain neighborhoods. More socioeconomic than it is anything. But at a global scale, it's obvious that somebody's calling the shots. And only a fool can't see that. You know, and we all have that problem. We all have family that don't get it. And we can't really do anything about it other than try to tell them. You try to tell them, but the brainwashing is too deep and they're watching that television every day. And that programs their subconscious. Mandate learning about health via research. Yes, you know what, Kim? If they actually cared about anybody's damn health, they would tell them that all the cures come from their garden. Everything that's ever happened on this planet, all the cures are in the garden. The biggest problem with that, Kim Jackson, is those cures are all preventative. That's the biggest problem. The cures are preventative. Like police, like the police state. You know, well, what did we do? It could have been prevented. You know, we could have got the cop training. No, you could have prevented it. You could have realized that you live in a garden. You live in a Garden of Eden, and when you abuse the creatures in the Garden of Eden, they get violent. When they get violent, they get guns. You know, when they get violent, they get guns, and the police got guns, and everybody got guns, and all the scare's gone. Violence is unavoidable. It's unavoidable. You live in a garden. Why do you have a police state? Why are you building prisons if you live in a garden? If you were told to feed the world, you were told to steward the world, all your religions and natural law, if you were told to do those things, and you know that people become pleasant when they have those things, then why you agree with taking them? The main reason I'm not on the left or right butt cheek is because we don't even get to own land. We don't own land. If you don't feel like, I'm gonna keep that simple, keep it real simple. If birds have an ecosystem. Slugs, and I just murdered a whole bunch of them last night because I did beer traps, so that's another discussion. They got an ecosystem. Cockroaches got an ecosystem. Ticks got an ecosystem. If you were born on this planet and you were on the left side of the butt cheek, and I don't know, the UK, y'all got butt cheeks over there. Over here, we got left butt cheek and a right butt cheek. And if you're on the left side of the butt cheek and the left side of the butt cheek agrees that you don't get to have an ecosystem at birth, you're born in this country, that you could have, everyone could have 16 acres per person, and they don't give you a damn thing but debt at birth, and on the right side of the butt cheek, that just makes an entire ass. That's all it does. It makes one big entire jackass. Because that's what it is. I don't like the cuss, but sometimes you have to use that right word. If you have a society and a baby is born and that baby gets nothing but debt, it doesn't even get an ecosystem that freaking mosquitoes get, and you want me to vote for that? Man, you lost your mind. You crazy. Slavery is a choice, people. Slavery, Kanye West was right. I'm sorry, I'm on Team Kanye. Not when it comes to wearing no MAGA hat. I don't do two sides of it, but when he told you slavery is a choice, it is always a choice. You choose this. You choose to be policed by these people because you accept the laws that are all unconstitutional, that are based in this concept that you're not even worth what a slug gets. A baby. I think these cops were trying to get capped. Jack, you know what? They do it around me, they are. I would do everything I could, Jack. If I would try to stand them down any way I could. I would say, hey, listen, guys, we're not going to let this man, we're not going to let them kill him. Maybe they're upset. Maybe they got some bad donuts. Maybe they got belly aches. Maybe they got an attitude. Maybe they're trying to meet their quota. It's not really their fault. Let's not try to force a violent situation. But if we all walk up and we say, hey, we're not going to walk away till you get your knee off his neck, and we'll back up. Put him in the car, take him to the police station, and we'll back up. That's probably what I would have done, Jack. I'm not a violent guy. But I'm not worried about my life, neither. I'm not worried about that, neither. No, I'm not allowed to do that. Unfortunately, I serve a higher power far beyond man's laws, and I ain't gonna sit around and let anybody die. Whether it's Lavoy finna come, some woman in some alley, or anywhere. You know, like we have a social contract. I think we do. I think I got a social contract with Jack, Patricia, Lucy, Jay, Tracia, Jonathan, everybody here. We have a social contract that we all survive together. We don't survive alone. I have a social contract that if I see somebody trying to abuse you, I'm not supposed to stand by and let it happen. I'm not supposed to pick up a camera. We already know that this happens, and I'm not going to stand by and do it. We also have a social contract with our kids. If it's your kids, I'm not going to stand by and watch it. We need to be allowed to let our children roam free in the Garden of Eden, knowing that nobody's going to stand by and let somebody choke out their life. And George Floyd was a child. He was a child to somebody, and only his life matters. No, Black lives do not matter. You do not get to take your privilege, life-having, ignorant behind and link it up to this man. The injustice happened and it only happened to him. It did not happen to you. You do not get to disaster capitalize this situation anymore. I'm sick of it. Change your name then. Change your name. A lot of great people in Black Lives Matter. Don't get me wrong. A lot of great people in White Lives Matter. A lot of great people in Blue Lives Matter. But you need to change your name because you are part of the problem. Part of the problem. I moved down to the comments, get out of here. I'm sorry I was serious this morning, y'all. I didn't mean to do I like to laugh and I like to joke, but when people lose their lives and these things happen, we have an obligation to speak about them from a correct perspective, while everybody will go watch the TV and speak about it from the perspective that they're told to by their slave masters. No, I'm not going to say Black Lives Matter. My life doesn't matter. Why does it matter? I'm alive. It doesn't matter at all. His life matters. He's the only one in the moment that matters. The poison purveyors. Yes, they are the poison purveyors, Miss Tree, because they've created a poisonous society and everybody's dying slow. But very few people want to admit that. We know we don't have a future. We know we're tempting extinction from all the industries. It's not just the police and it's the pharmaceutical state, it's the war state, it's the legal state, it's the pesticide state. It's all the states. These are all massive industries that make big dollars on creating problems. And we're being poisoned from every single way, sociologically, legislatively, we're all being poisoned. Gerard, the world is not ready to understand things at their core yet. Protesting is a waste of time. No one will ever think rational under the empire of fear. I agree with you from that perspective. This is why I don't protest. I used to protest. I don't know who said that because things moved up too quickly. I used to organize protests. Oh, we went down in Philly. We took over a bridge. We've done a whole bunch of stuff. And I would sit there and I told that story before. I'd be out there protesting. People drive by, hit their horns, have no damn idea while I'm out there. Wasted everybody's time. I did it out of passion, which is why I'm not against protesters. They do things out of passion. But if they're not guided in the right direction, if they go to somebody who's making big dollars in the system that has their skin color or looks like them, or thinks because they got the skin color of the person who was just murdered, that they have more right to speak. Now, that's the other thing I got to chastise. Nah, I'm sorry. I don't care what your skin color is. Jay is one of them. Jay doesn't have a lot of melanin in the skin. I hate to talk about things from a color perspective because that was given to you by your slave masters, and I have no interest in what they named you. I have no interest in keeping their legacy alive, which is why I have no interest in the name Black Lives Matter. Jay has about 3 billion children on this planet. And they're all shapes and colors, different melanin, different hair and eyes. And Jay has got to look out for all of them. Right? That's the social contract we have for each other. Y'all need to stop letting people tell you that you can't speak for your cousins. Every baby on this planet is a cousin to Jay. Jay needs to speak up for all of them and tell people, say, oh, well, you can't speak for us. There is no us. It's just we. It's an I. We are all connected. We are all one. And if you're too ignorant and your own little ignorant experiences to realize what's happening, I will stand up for these babies. You stand back in line, but I'm always going to speak up for these people. And the same thing across the board. When the people with a lot of melanin say, nah, I'm going to stand up for these kids that ain't got no melanin. Yes, their lives matter. Hell yeah. And that's why I do it. People ask, well, why are you always talking up for poor whites? Because there's no such thing as white. That's a slave name given to my cousins. And I will stand up for every last one of them because that's what I'm obligated to do. It's a social contract we have with all our cousins all over this planet. And when you start doing that, the system falls. Then you're not playing their game no more. And that's what this is. It's a game. It's like that game Sorry growing up, or the game of life they gave you. You pick an avatar that the billionaires give you. And you get the board game, and there are only so many avatars you can pick. You can be American, you can be Democrat, Republican, you can be purple or white, blue, black, you can be Christian, Muslim, and they give you your options. You get your avatar, and you get out there and you play their game. I ain't playing their game. I'm too old for this. I'm too old for this, people. I'm 29. I ain't in your age code. I ain't playing this game. The opposite of love is indifference. Yes, it is, Rebecca Costello. Indifference meaning they just don't care. They don't care. I used to not care, Rebecca. I used to not care. I'd probably be out there, stop the racism, Black Lives Matter. I'd be doing the same thing back when I didn't care, when I wanted to associate my identity with somebody else who was just murdered. Not doing that no more. I actually care now. I actually care, and I'm not indifferent no more. This has nothing to do with me. I'm not going to associate myself with it in one way. I'm not going to associate it with a political party or a nation or any of the other ignorant, stupid identities. A person was murdered. Can they have the moment, please? Can you put down the microphone and let them have the moment? Can you stop disaster capitalizing like people are doing during the flu season? They will make it about anything that keeps making them money, period. Jay, that's it. And that's the boom. They're going to keep making it about anything that will keep the system alive. As long as, not the hope, the system. As long as it keeps the system alive, that's exactly what they're going to make it about, Jay. But it's got to have an emotional component, right? It's got to have an emotional component. It's got to be something to get people upset and enough to get them out in the street wearing masks and Sharpie signs, yelling and screaming for no change. As long as it's emotional to get people out in the street for it, they'll do it. As long as it keeps them in power, they'll do it. As long as they ain't got to change the laws, they'll do it. And the scary thing about that, Jay, is you talk to most police, they know that, and they'll tell you that. But this is not sustainable. This direction isn't sustainable. This is all unconstitutional. Thank goodness a few sheriffs are standing up and saying it, but the people aren't. It's weird that I have a sexual desire towards the police state. Hunter, I don't even know how to... Oh, Lord, I'm glad you said that. I need a little bit of a laugh. I don't even know what that means, Hunter. You scare me sometimes, brother. I know you're out there in California. I tell you, you need to get out of California. California not only is sinking into the ocean, but they seem to be leading the march in this nonsense. Gerard, you're the best. Andrea, I'm not the best at nothing. I am one dude that's just looking around, and I'm just saying, y'all, we keep doing this, we all gonna die. We keep doing this, we all gonna go extinct. We keep doing this, nothing is ever gonna change. I'm not great or anything. I'm just somebody, Andre, that's stupid enough to get out here and say, hey, hold on, people. But you know, I'm not that smart, Andre. I'm not that smart. I put myself in the way of a freight train to help people. If I see people with badges choking somebody out, I'm not gonna stand by and watch it. I ain't that bright. I put myself in front of Black Lives Matter because I don't really care. I think George Floyd matters more. I don't care if they got a board, CEOs, executives, and millions of people behind them. I put myself in front of White Lives Matter because I really don't care what they got to say neither. I don't care about what Blue Lives got to matter. Every single one of my cousins' lives matter. I'm going to stand up for the one in the moment that was taken. And right now, the only life that matters is George Floyd. That's the only sign that I would ever want to see. George Floyd life matters. And when you focus on that, then you might know what to do next. But as long as they make it about something emotional, like what Jay just said right there, then it's going to be about them. It's going to be about that group and how the people who lead those groups can sell more books, get more votes. And, and I'm not interested in that. All right. Do my last couple comments. I'm going to get out of here. I'm sorry, everybody. People join the show so we can laugh and be entertained. And I know I didn't entertain this morning. I just yelled at y'all for 10 minutes. Are you not entertained? I was not entertaining today. I got pissed off when somebody sent me that this morning. The programming working, social distancing. It is working, Tracia, and that's why people are doing. They're going to social distance for the system while they're fighting the system. Good morning, Tommy. Good morning, Kimberly. Brother Jack, Brett. Let me see. The subject is my specialty. Jack, it is your specialty. You keep going with it, brother. Everybody, you got to pick a bone and rip the hell out of it. Pick a bone and rip the hell out of it. Everybody can't specialize in anything, but find one thing. Not everybody has no life like me. Not everybody doesn't have a life like Jack. Miss Tree ain't got no life neither. I know she always here researching stuff. Kim Jackson, Brother David ain't got no life. Christ damn sure ain't got no life. Jay ain't got no life. None of these people, Rebecca ain't got no life. She got some crocodiles and stuff outside her backyard, some cats. But they ain't got no lives. We'll sit here and research all these different topics all day and talk about it. But people, if you got a you got a stuff, just pick one topic. Like Jackson, just pick one topic. Specialize in it. Do root cause analysis. Do your research. Do critical thought. Apply scientific methods to it. Are the things that we're doing changing any damn thing? And if not, then you need to educate us in what we need to be doing to change things. Because it's easy for us to get locked into the cycle, and we're locked into this protest cycle. People die, we yell, scream, we make Sharpie signs, and people die. We yell, scream, make signs, and people die. And then election year, we yell, scream, make signs. Just pick one thing and specialize, and then come back and educate us. That's what the social media is for. Social media is for you to go out there, learn something that we don't know because it's not on the television set, and you come back and teach us, and then we all socialize about it. That's the purpose of social media. It's not to reconfirm the bias and crap that's on television. And so I'll do my best, and I'm only one guy. I'll do my best to just, let me question the narrative. What's happening on the news? What's happening on the billionaires' news? What is the popular thing to do? And ask myself, is that the right thing to do? Is that really addressing the root problem? So yes, Brother Jack, I appreciate you saying that. We do need to focus sometimes on just one damn thing and then share it with other people. And then it's my job. Who's that, Brother Kahil? And it's my job for when you post something for me to look at it with open eyes. It's for me to look at it outside of my identities, just from the research you did and what you posted, and a solution to say, damn it, that actually makes some sense. Maybe we need to do this. That's what social media is for. That's the only way we're going to fix or change anything with this last tool we have before they turn us into the mainstream media. And it's coming. It's coming because I don't think they were ready for the internet. Right now, you got people who are talking all over this world, like the sister earlier and Tracia over in Ireland, and the brother Kevin over in South Africa, and Nicole in South Africa. And you got all these people and the sister in the UK saying, damn, the same thing is happening in my country. They didn't want that to happen. They don't want you to put together the notes and realize with common sense that somebody else is controlling all of this. All right? I'm gonna have to get going. I had to do it. I didn't have this amount of time this morning, but I'm not sure whether any of us would interfere. It's easy to talk about it, but we are all afraid of cops. Ivana, I have to confess something to you. I'm not afraid of police. I'm not. And maybe it's because I deal with them all the time. You know, maybe that's fearful to some people. I'm not scared of Homeland Security. There's not a man on this planet that's fearful. And it's maybe because I went to a high school with kids from Southeast DC whose father was never there, and mom was on crack, and they carry guns to school. No man scares me. Grizzly bears is a whole different story. Grizzly bears, you might get something there, but yeah. If I were there, I'm not a standing watcher. I'm not that smart, Ivana. I'd throw myself in front of a train. I think I'm only here to play a part, Ivana, and if I were there, it probably would have been my role to be shot. But at least it would have made a statement. At least my life would have been for something. It would have been for something. Anything that would have got that man to take his knee off of that other guy's neck. Like, I think we're all here, and some of us are just here for the moment. And maybe you're alive. Instead of to do a long, drawn-out life, you just got one thing you're supposed to do in the one moment, which is the right thing to do, but you might pay the maximum price doing the right thing. Ivana, every decision made in fear is a bad one. We can't make any decisions in fear. And I'm not saying that that's your place to do that. You got to be true to who Ivana is. I'm just being true to me and who I am. And for some reason, I don't have the function of fear. Nothing scares me. When the guy pulled that gun on me, I just stood and looked at him. He told me to get out of his yard. What'd he tell me? I told that story before. One of them, he was a retired cop, and I was a salesman at the time. I was putting myself through college as a door-to-door salesman. And unfortunately, my college was in a very area that was melanin prejudiced. Put it that way. And he liked the product. He bought the product, and the sun was going down. He brought out his rifle and said that now you need to go ahead and get out of here because it's getting dark and you're starting to look like a deer. I had no idea what he was saying. How old was I? I think I was 17, 18. No, I was in college. Maybe I was 18, 19. I didn't know what he was even talking about. And it took a little while for it to sink in that this man just basically said, if I don't get out of here, he's going to shoot me because I'm starting to look like a deer. And I put 2 and 2 together and 3 and 4. And I wasn't the smartest and fastest in the ship in the race. But I got in my car and I got out of there. But I wasn't scared. It was just I've seen those before. I've seen those gun things before. I know what they do. All right, I gotta go. Last couple comments and I'm out of here. As steel sharpens steel, friends sharpen friends. That's all we can do, Jack. Iron sharpens iron. We have to sharpen each other. The intent has to be here not to be right. The intent has to be here to find out what's correct. My intent can't be right over Jack. It has to be take what Jack said, try to tweak it if I could, add my information to it or my experience, and come up with something that's correct that we can do as a global family. All right? I had to get going, gotta get going. I mean, and all this is about, it's all about freedom. which is why I always cue and I end off on Brother Jack Riley's song. We got to free the human race. We've made slavery the default, right? We don't own land. We don't own oxygen, water. We don't have ecosystems. You own the house, but not the land on it. You don't own a car. We live in a time of mass forced labor. You got one side yelling and screaming because they want to restart the non-capitalism that we left, and the other side yelling and screaming that they want to restart or they want to build a new normal. They want the billionaires to give them a new normal. And I think that's a bad idea. Anytime you step back and let the lords and Caesars and corporations and Iron Bank put together what your normal is, it's always slavery. It's always slavery. And you don't never get no rights. These boots were made for walking, and that's just what they're going to do. One of these days, these boots are going to walk all over you. One day that we're going to wake up in the morning as a human race on a positive note, and we're going to strap on our boots. We're going to realize the Bundys know what they're talking about. We're going to realize if Lavoy Finicum knew what he was talking about. We're going to realize all these brothers we lost, from Chris Gardner to even the kids who resisted, that they resisted because they knew who they were. They're not in hell. We're in hell. They have rights. They have freedom wherever they all are. We are still here under a police state choosing slavery. All right, this is Gerard. I got to go. Y'all have a great day. Free the people. Free the people. Do you actually want to free the people, or do you want to get some likes, subscriptions, and become profitable and sell some books? I'm out. Love y'all now. Bye.
Do you want a free